my name is Lilian Okibe. Merry Christmas and welcome to the final episode of Vlogmas. I cannot believe we have finally come to the end of Vlogmas. Like, oh my god, I'm so happy and I'm so excited. So today's video is going to be a little different. Today we are going to be doing never have I. We're going to be playing a game. We're going to be playing the never have I ever, the natural hair, or like the hair tag in general. So I wrote down here a few questions. Some of these questions I got from As Is, from a video done by As Is, like a channel called As Is here on YouTube. But the rest of the questions, like, I wrote them down myself, like came up with them myself. So if you guys will be interested in seeing my own never have I ever video tag, then definitely keep on watching. Now, as I'm going to be releasing all these questions and I'm going to be responding to them, I would like you guys to also drop your own response down in the comment section. Let me know if you have ever done any of all these things or if you have never done them. So as I reply, as you see my reply, please drop your own comments or like your own response down in the comment section. So the first the first never ever I'll be responding to is never have I ever gotten gum stuck in my hair that I had to cut it. Now by gum I mean bubble gum. Well, I have. I have. Now in my own defense, this happened like a long time ago when I was still a child. I think that was actually the reason why I had my first haircut. I think so. So growing up as a child, my parents like didn't allow us to chew gum. Like, just felt like chewing gum was not like, they never allowed us to chew gum. So occasionally, the only time I remember ever like chewing gum was like once in a while. Maybe if one of our uncles or our aunties comes from, I don't know, from wherever, and probably brings gum to us as a gift. Maybe my mom would just say, okay, you can have one, or I don't know, something, maybe it's an event. I really can't remember, but I know that chewing gum was never really allowed, only on rare occasion. So what I would do back then was anytime I had the opportunity, because I really enjoyed chewing gum. There's just this thing about having something that has been kept away from me for so long. When you finally have it, like, you never want to let it go, you know, that kind of thing. So that's how it was for me. So anytime I ever had the opportunity to chew gum, I would continue to chew. Like, I would chew the gum all day, like all day. And when it would be time for me to go to sleep, like when it would be night time, instead of me to throw the gum away, just so that I'll still have the gum to chew the next day. Now I know that this sounds really weird. I know it sounds weird, but I was a child, so cut me some slack, please. So after chewing the gum at night, instead of me to throw the gum away, I would like bring out the gum from my mouth and hold it in my hands. Like, if I drop it somewhere, I know that somehow it will get lost. Maybe my mom will see it and throw it away or something. So I would hold it in my hand and go to sleep. So I'll, you know, put it in my hands and go to sleep. I used to sleep, you know how children sleep basically. One, you may go to sleep like this, but when you wake up, like, you find yourself in a totally different position. So I'll go to sleep somehow. And most times, like all the times I ever remember doing that, I know that I always woke up with the gum lost, but that never stopped me from doing it again the next time, you know. So now this particular day I did that, and while I was sleeping, somehow I don't know what happened. Probably the gum obviously came out of my hand, and somehow it got stuck to my hair. It got stuck to my hair. Like, I think it was somewhere around the scalp, so it was not like the ends of my hair where, you know, no big deal, you can just cut it. Like, it was more like on my scalp, like hair around my scalp. So when I woke up the next morning, remember my mom saw it. My mom was like, oh my god, like, what? It would have been well, like, if she had just cut only that part of the hair, I would have had like a really big bald spots just at one corner of my head. So she did not want that, so she ended up giving me like a full total haircut. So that was actually the first time I remember ever cutting my hair. I think I was about probably 5 or so back then. Like, she shaved my head because of the gum. And yeah, I don't think that ever happened again. So the next never have I ever I'll be responding to is never have I ever cried after getting a haircut. Well, I have. funny thing is, I cut my hair like throughout most of my childhood. Like throughout my secondary school, I was on, okay, not throughout my secondary school, like for 3 years in my secondary school, when I was in secondary school, I was on low cut, you know, but I never cried when I was getting my hair cut, like throughout when I was a child. Even that experience I told you guys about where I had bubble gum in my hair, like I did not cry when I was getting a haircut. The last time and like the only time I have cried after getting a haircut was last year. I've said this before on my channel. I told you guys that I used to wash my hair in sections, and so like the center of my head started to thin and stuff like that. It was looking weird. So that glorious day, it was sometime in September, I think, thereabout, I woke up and I was like, it was when I was having my whole mental breakdown, you know. So I woke up and I was like, no, this has to go. Like I cannot continue to. The hair was just like thin and it was weird, you know. So that was after I had stopped washing my hair in section, so it was already starting to grow out from the roots. So the roots was already like thickening out, but like most parts of the hair was like really thin and stringy, and it was so bad. You know, so I just woke up that day, I was like, no, this has to go. So I took my scissors. Like that day I locked myself in my room and like let me just cut it, health over length and blah 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 blah, so that kind of thing, you know. I was trying to talk myself into like, this is the best thing for your hair. Like it was just looking weird. I did not want to have that anymore. So I cut my hair, and I mostly cut like the center of my head. I shared with you guys I shared my results with you guys like last year when I came back on the internet and stuff like that, and I told you guys that I had cut my hair. So I cut my hair, and after cutting, like I mostly cut because the rest of my hair wasn't really stringy and thin and damaged, so just like the middle. So that was where even though I cut the rest of my hair, like the main part that I cut was at the center of my head. So at the end of the day, after cutting it, like it just looked weird. It looks my hair looked like a mullet, you know. It just looks weird. And when I saw the results, like I just I burst into tears. Because I was like, that was not the picture I had in mind when I was cutting it. I thought it would have been nicer, like, oh, everything would have just been held there. But the fact that that part was like shorter than the rest of my hair, like I did not like what I saw, so I wept. I wept bitterly, you know. And the best thing for me that I would have done would have been like to cut the rest of my hair so it would have been even, you know. But I did not trust myself enough to cut the rest, so I was just like, it was like I was just there. I hated what I saw, and I was kind of like confused because I don't know what to do after that. Like cutting the rest of the hair, what if I make it worse, you know? So I was like, that's not an option. But anyway, the only thing I could do was cry. So I cried and cried and cried until then I was tired of crying, and then I stopped crying, and then I moved on with my life. So yeah, I have cried after cutting my hair before. So the next one is, never have I ever tried to follow a YouTube hair tutorial and failed miserably. Well, I feel like what should have been here should have been, never have I ever tried to follow a YouTube tutorial and succeeded, you know, because it's more like I fail so often that like at this point I've gotten used to, like, whenever I'm following a YouTube tutorial, I usually follow it with the mindset that most likely I have 90% of failing and probably 10% of actually succeeding in the tutorial. Like I find it very hard to follow YouTube tutorials, to be honest. Like most times my result ends up being totally different from what I see or like on my screen, you know. So that's just it. I feel like, I don't know, like sometimes even when I'm following my own tutorial, I probably do a style that I love, probably maybe weeks later or like years later I come back, I'm like, let me follow this tutorial and recreate this style that I love so much. Like even at that, sometimes, many times I still fail, like at copying my own tutorial, like how much more someone else's. So it's just something I feel like I've come to accept. So whenever I try to follow any tutorial and I feel, I usually have no hard feelings because like I was expecting it, you know, that kind of thing. Next, never have I ever messed up cutting my own hair. Well, at this point I feel like I'm just answering I have to all these never have I ever, but The answer to this one again is yes, I have. Those of you that have been following me long enough probably already know this. Like I can't remember, it was this year actually. It was this year. I attempted to cut my hair into a bob. Now when I first cut my hair, it looked nice. It looked nice because, but there's this thing about like kinky coily hair is that you may cut your, at that point your hair may look like, oh, you have, when you're, but especially when you're, if you are just trying to trim your hair, then there's no big deal. Like there's no, it's not so difficult to trim our kind of hair. But when you're trying to cut your hair into a shape and you do not like blow dry your hair or like straighten your hair, it becomes tricky because today your hair may be shrinking in a way, and then the next day you can be wearing this exact same hairstyle and your hair will not shrink the way that it did the previous day. I don't know if that makes sense. So when I first cut my hair, it looked amazing to me. I felt like it looked perfect because, like, of course, it was how it looked, that was how I cut it. But like the next day or like probably days later, I tried to cut my hair into a bob. So I wanted my hair, all my hair to like fall and just like the back to be like shorter and everything to just be like a bob. Like now, if you guys watch my videos and stuff, you probably have noticed that my hair is kind of like a bob. Like the back of my hair is like shorter than, like, even now that I'm wearing beads, like it kind of like everything moves, especially like this last layer of my hair moves. It's usually like almost like the same length because I cut my hair into a, I attempted to cut my hair into a bob, but after a few days I realized that I messed my hair up because the shape stopped looking how it looked when I first cut it. Like it was no longer a bob per se anymore. I started to see some pieces of hair slightly longer than others, so it was no longer like a blunt, nice, cute bob, you know. So yeah, I have I have. So next one, never have I ever ripped through a knot. I have. I feel like we are all guilty of this. Now, as much I always tell you guys that whenever you style your hair, make sure that you keep a pair of scissors near you, just so that whenever you notice any knots or things like that, or things like that that you cannot undo, you can just easily reach for your scissors that is already near you and you just like cut it. But there are times when maybe I'm doing my hair, I forgot to bring my scissors near me, and there's this knot that like is just getting in the way. And when I think about having to probably go out of my room or go somewhere else to get my pair of scissors, I'm like, oh no, like I don't have that time, so I just boom, just rip through the knots. Like, don't do that. That is not good, because the more you rip your hair, the more you rip knots out, the more split ends you're going to get, and split ends will generally make your hair look unhealthy, and it's most likely split ends will travel through your hair strands, and then it will make your hair look weird and unhealthy, and you're eventually going to have to cut it off eventually, you know. So that's not the right thing to do, but I actually do that sometimes, and I try not to but I do that sometimes, and I advise that you do not do that. Don't do that. So the next one, never have I ever lied to a stylist about how I feel about my hair. Well, I feel like this is an in-between answer. Recently, no, and that's because I do my hair, I style my hair myself. Like, so for now, the answer to that would be like, I have never, you know. But in the past, when I used to go to like stylists to do my hair and things like that, I used to do that a lot. a lot, because sometimes you go to the stylist to do your hair, and he or she will be like, after doing your hair, the person will be so happy, like, oh, I have done a very, very good job and everything like that, and you look at yourself in the mirror and like, you know, like this looks weird, you know, but you don't want to break the person's heart, so you just go ahead and just like, yeah, do you like it? Yes, I like it. But even though you hate the hairstyle, and for me, most times when I go back home, I'll go and remove the, most times it used to be like weaves, you know, so when I go back home, I'll just go and remove the weave and just probably wear my hair for the rest of the week, you know, that kind of thing. I used to do this, I usually do this, or I used to do this more often back then, when the stylist is like someone I know, probably a friend or something, where like it's not a paid job. Now if it's a paid job, I can just like, oh no, I don't like it. If it's something that the person can fix, then I'll probably tell the person to fix it because I'm paying for it, you know. But if it's something that is done by someone that is close to me, like a family member or a friend, that, you know, it's free, you know, and the person is like, let me help you to do your hair, and like I'm like, okay, help me to do my hair, and then I end up not liking it, well, because I don't want to break the person's heart. I may just not say anything and probably endure the cross. You know, and wear that hairstyle for a little while, and then eventually I'll take it out. Now, I've always been someone that likes to change my styles a lot, you know, so when things like that happen, I'll just wear it for probably a few days, and then I'll take it out and tell the person that, you know, I don't wear my style for too long, so obviously you knew that I was probably going to take it out after a while. It's no hard feelings. It's not like I did not like it. I liked it. I liked the style, but you know, I can't wear my styles for too long, you know. So that used to be the excuse I used to give, you know. But yeah, I've done that so many times. Like I've even lost count of how many times I've done that. So the next one, never have I ever lied to strangers about what I use in my hair. Now this sounds, well, I hate to say this, but I have. And that's because, like, sometimes when I go out and people like see my hair and they're like, hey, I like your hair, what do you use? Like, it's not at that time I'll not sit down and start explaining, okay, I have a DIY mixture that I make with ginger and aloe vera and this. I use shea butter, I use water, I use Jamaican black acid, I use this, I use that, like, I use black soap, like, probably you're just passing by, like, it's just like a quick encounter, you know, that kind of thing. So there's really no time to start explaining all those things, so I'll just rather just say shea butter and water. And actually, that's actually what I used to use, like, back when, I think like 2 years ago or like so. The only thing I used to use in my hair used to be black soap, shea butter and water, you know, that kind of thing. And my hair actually looked really good at that time, you know. So I've gotten so used to saying shea butter, black soap, you know, that even now that I now use many other things, like now that I do so many other DIYs, I still maintain that my response that I used to give them back then of just shea butter and black soap, you know. And they're like, really, shea butter and black soap? And I'm like, yes, you know, that kind of thing. And in my mind, I'm like, I will probably tell you more, but I do not have the time. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, I have lied to strangers about what I use in my hair, but not for like, not in a bad way, not because I don't want to tell them, but it's just like, do you have the time? Because like this, it will take a long time to tell you what I use and to explain to you how I use them, you know, that kind of thing. So to save our time and to save our stress, to save both of us the time and stress, I'll just rather say shea butter, black soap and water. So the next one, never have I ever tried to cover the smell of my hair with perfume. Well, oh god, now this is just weird, because I feel like I've been saying I actually have. I don't do that anymore because now I feel like it's a waste of time. But back then, when I never knew what I know now, I used to try to do that. I remember the first time I used cheby in my hair. Now, for those of you that have used cheby, then you know the smell. Cheby smells like spice, like cooking spice. It smells like curry or like thyme, or like, it just smells like cooking spice, maggi, you know, that kind of thing, seasoning for cooking rice, you know. So after I used the cheby, like, the smell was so like strong and so overpowering. And even though I tried everything to like try to mask the smell, like, it just, the smell of cheby is so harsh, you cannot mask the smell. Like, it's just remain in your hair until you probably wash your hair, and even after you wash your hair, sometimes the smell may still linger a little bit. So I thought I could mask the smell with perfume, and then I went ahead to I spray perfume in my hair. I feel like that's the worst decision I have ever made, because the smell of the perfume just mixed with the smell of the cheby, and it just made it more pronounced, and everything just, the smell was horrible. It was really, really bad. Like, so I could smell my hair and I did not like the smell. Like, everywhere I went, I felt so conscious of myself, because I'm like, I could smell terrible smell, and I'm like, I'm very sure people around me can smell it too, you know. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. it was terrible. It was bad, you know, and I would never do that again. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't use cheby, because the smell is just so harsh that it's difficult to mask. Now, I use so many other DIYs that do not smell the best, you know, but the thing about most of all those DIYs that I use is that even though they do not smell really nice, you can mask the smell. Like, they are easier to, the smell of those ones are easier to mask. Like ginger, for example, I really don't mind the smell of ginger, but even the smell of ginger can easily be masked. Even egg, like egg, because I usually, when I use eggs in my hair, I use it before I wash my hair. So by the time I wash my hair with a shampoo, like the smell usually like almost gone. So by just adding something, an oil that like smells really nice into my hair, like everything is just like nice and my hair is all smelling nice again, you know, that kind of thing. Shea butter too can easily be masked. The smell of shea butter can be masked, so I don't mind that. But cheby, that one is the smell. I don't know. I can't stand the smell of cheby, and like the smell is like so difficult to mask, and I hate to be walking around smelling like fried rice. So that's why I rather not use cheby in my hair. And when I tried to mask the smell with perfume, it was horrible. It was horrible. Don't try that at home, okay? For the next one, never have I ever used paper scissors to cut my hair. Even though I preach against this, I've done this before. Now, not to cut like when I want to trim my hair, I'll take paper scissors and cut. Like you're going to be doing more damage to your hair than good. It's better for you to not trim your hair than to trim your whole hair with paper scissors. But let's say I'm doing my hair and I notice a knot on a strand of my hair, and my hair shears is like away from me, and I don't have the strength to go and get it, and I have like paper scissors near me. I'll just take it, and it's not just one strand. I'll just take it and cut it, like, you know. So I do that sometimes, but I do not recommend that because using paper scissors can cause split ends, so it's not really advisable to do that. But I've done that before, and don't do that. So the final one, never have I ever used lotion or bathing soap for my hair. Those of you that have been following me long enough already know the answer to that. I have. I have. Now, even up till now, you guys know that I wash my hair with Dudu Washroom black soap, which is it was actually created to be a bathing soap. You know, it's created for the skin. It's for the skin. So yeah, I use bathing soap to wash my hair, and I've actually used lotion in my hair before. I even have a video on that on my channel. I'll link it in the cards. I used my skin lotion for a wash and go, and my result was actually really nice. I should try that again. Like I've not done that since then, but I should try that again. Like I use it more like as a leave-in conditioner under my gel, and it was my result was like really nice, and it just got me thinking, like, is there really a point to buying leave-in conditioner when your lotion can do this, you know? So yeah, but I've done that. I feel like I've almost broken every rule in the natural hair community, like at this point, and that's not good. That's not good. So yeah, with that, we've come to the end of this episode of Vlogmas, and we've come to the very end of Vlogmas. I'm so happy that I could make it to the end. Like I made the decision to do Vlogmas on the 1st of December, you know, so it was not like a pre-planned something. I just stumbled on it, and I'm like, I'm going to do Vlogmas, and I'm so proud of myself that even though I did not plan ahead, like I was able to make it to the end, and I could not have done this without you guys. You guys, all your support, all your likes, all your comments, you guys have been cheering me on. That's the only reason why I was able to make it this far. Now I would like to know, like, which episode of all the videos I've shared so far, the 25 videos I've shared, which episode of Vlogmas is your favorite? Like, which one did you enjoy the most? Please let me know down in the comment section below. So with that, because the end of this Vlogmas, and I'm so happy, I'm so excited, like I'm so happy. Now I can go and sleep because this has been so much stressful. It has been so much work, and I'm so happy we've come to the end. I'm probably going to take a few days, maybe probably 3 or more days. If you guys not see me until next year, just know that I was so tired and I had to take some rest and I had to relax, you know. So but hopefully I should be back to creating content for you guys here on YouTube, on Instagram, you know, on TikTok, probably on the 28th or 29th or so. You know, I just want to take a few days off to just you know, rest because this has been so much work for me. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys on 28th or 29th. Thank you so much for all your support all year long. You guys, your support this year has meant so much to me. Even the support that you guys have been showing me even way before this year, but this year particularly, you guys have been so amazing, and I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful. thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for all your sweet messages, your DMs, your emails, your, you know, all the nice gestures, your gifts. You know, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. We've come to the end of this year, and I'm so happy. I cannot be happier. I hope we do this again next year. We even do greater things next year, and I cannot wait. Next year is going to be amazing for us all, and I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. Hopefully Corona will not be, you know, messing things up for us by this time next year. So yeah, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for all the episodes of Vlogmas that you guys have watched. Thank you for all my previous videos that you guys have watched. See you guys on the 28th or 29th, or probably on the 1st of January 2021. 2021, yeah, 2021. My brain is acting weird. 2021. So yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year in advance. See you guys very soon.